the one, the only Benzion. Okay, good morning and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube. Iyun with Benzion. Today's daf is Nazir daf Nun Gimel. I want to point out something which seems to contradict itself. Nun Gimel and Beis, on the top, the Gemara reaches a conclusion that when the Mishnayos state that our Mishnah state on Daf Mem Ter Chatzi Kavat Samos, you need a half a kavat samos of bones to be metame, right? And the Mishnah on Nun Dalet, we'll see tomorrow, says a rovat samos is not metame. Why does it repeat something twice, right? We can infer Chatzi Kavat Samos, no, or yes, rovat samos, no. So the Gemara is mechadesh, right? That on rovat samos you would be metame if you touch them or you carry them. Just being under an oil, being under a roof, not. So the Gemara says, once we know that, why does the Mishnah have to say etzem kasora, a bone of a sora, right? If a rovat's almost, you need a bigger measurement, right? You don't need a bigger measurement. Even etzem kasora, you touch it. As the Mishnah said, etzem the size of a barley seed, an intact bone the size of a barley seed. If you touch it or carry it, you're Nazir Galech. And the Gemara says, Al de ikma chachmuke. We're talking about when we say rova tzamos, right? Of course, if you touch a whole bone that's intact, the size of a barley seed. Barley is very small. Go look at your cholent tomorrow. It's not so big, and they're smaller before they're cooked. So it's very small. So that's talking about when it's intact. When it's intact, yes, that touching that or carrying it would make you tummy. Nazir Galech. However, when it's completely crushed up into bone powder, then you need rova tzamos. Then only if you have a rova tzamos, a fourth of kavat tzamos, which is about fourth of kavat tzamos is a fourth of 1.5 liters. It's basically take a Coca-Cola bottle and divide it into 4 parts. One part of that would be if you fill it up with bone powder, that would be enough to metame v'maga v'masa, touch it or carrying it. Now, it seems to be that's metame, even though you crush it up with the bone powder. This seems to contradict the Gemara on Daf Nun Aleph from Beis, where the Gemara towards the top, about 10 lines from the top, Nun Aleph Beis, Naktina and Meisha Takno Ein Lo Rekev. We're talking about Mali Tarvid Rekev. If you have the flesh of a body that's left to decompose, and it decomposes into dust, right? How much dust of a corpse dust do you need in order to Nazir Galech, to Matami or Nazir Galech? So we had a machlokas. Is it an entire handful, or maybe just the amount you can fit in your palm? So we paskin probably, like Rabbi Yochanan and the Chachamim, that it's an entire handful. But the Gemara says that it's only true if it decomposed by itself. If you go ahead and grind it up, right, even though you have the Rebbe Shir, Ein Lo Rekev, it's not metame. Why is it not metame over here? He's saying you grind up bones, it is metame. So what's going on? The answer is, I'd like to say, even though the article translates that ikma kachmuke means that you ground it up. Article translates ikma kachmuke, where the bones were ground into a powder as a fine flour. Sounds like a person intentionally did that. It could mean they were ground by accident. And I think that's the distinction over here. If you go ahead and actively go and cremate a body, or you go and you crush up flesh, or you crush up bones, right? So as I mentioned before, the lashon of Gilgulin, when we talked about this Tuma, Gilgul, reincarnation, how it plays into Tuma over here, that there's Tuma when the nefesh, the neshama, the metaphysical body, is still attached somehow to the dead person. So, as long as the body decomposes by itself, right, there's reason to believe, no one's forcing, this is kind of mystical, but the way I understand, trying to put a little lumdus over here, it's hard to put, svara into things that deal with tuma and tara and dead people, but the little I know about reincarnation, I would say it like this. It makes sense to me that if it decomposes by itself, that the neshama could still stay there. That's why there's tuma over there, because you have a neshama which is attached to a dead physical body. That's tuma, right? Once the neshama leaves, it's tor, right? It's tor, because there's no neshama over there. Neshama lacking a body is tuma, right? That's what it is. That's why people who fast all day, they're just in neshama, they don't have no body. That's tuma. Tara is to eat steak. God, the kedusha is to eat steak. So if it decomposes by itself, so that's natural, it happened. Even if something caused it, there were, some weather conditions that caused it to decompose, it happened by itself. I don't see why the neshama shouldn't be there. It's possible, at least I don't know exactly what happens after death, but If you grind it up yourself, so the Gemara Nun Aleph is saying Nachtina Takno, that's for clear. That's a clear lashon. Then you ground it up. You cremated the body. You cremated the body. You're showing. You're displacing the soul. I would say like the soul gets displaced. So a person intentionally, the kavana cremates the body. So that decimates the soul. I mean, that decimates makes the soul leave and go somewhere else in some Gilgal in reincarnation. So it's Torah over there. It's not Metame over here. It doesn't say that he takano into kemach. It became like flour. Kemach is flour. It became like flour. It doesn't mean that he grinded it up. It doesn't say takno. It became bone powder, either natural causes, or it just natural causes, or maybe someone did it unintentionally. I think if it happens unintentionally or happens under natural causes, so then no one's forcing the neshama out. Therefore, the neshama can still be there, and it's matame as long as you have the requisite shir or via or a rova kava. That's what I'd like to suggest over here. I hope you enjoyed today's share. See you in the next one.